Welcome everyone. I am so glad to see all of you here today in attendance for our town hall meeting. Um, First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jacqueline Burkhalter, and I am a fifth grade science teacher here at Jemison Intermediate School. And I have been teaching here for 3 years. I've also been a bus driver for 2 years. So, just to tell you a little bit more about my family, I have two children. My oldest is in graduate school, my youngest is in the military. And originally, we planned to have this town hall meeting outside in our outdoor classroom. But with a 100% chance of rain today, we just had to move indoors, and I thank you for being willing to make that change with us today. I was really excited about you guys getting to see the outdoor classroom. So many good things have been happening out there. So if you get the opportunity to come by sometime, please come check it out. It's a great place for our students to learn and grow, and just really progress in their education as they get to interact in our outdoor classroom. I want to thank you all for attending. We really need you to be a part of this town hall meeting. Without you, we could not do this. We need all of our community to collectively come together and work through solutions to our issues with inadequate internet access. So we have lots of people here today that have been active volunteers in our school, and I just want to thank all of you for your contribution. I have seen teachers, parents, master gardeners, business owners, business leaders come out and actually help us build and plant our discovery garden. So I've seen lots of you serving snacks from our snack shack to our students in schools. I've seen you do these types of things at athletic events, and I really appreciate all that you do to create a great community here at Jemison, in the Jemison schools. First thing I would like to bring up is our purpose for being here. We all understand that our internet access presents challenges for many of us in Jemison. And due to the recent pandemic, this has really been emphasized. It has really shown a light on the gaps that we have in terms of our inadequate internet access. And that's why your presence here is so important. We need to hear from you. We need to know what you struggle with, what solutions you have come up with to meet these challenges. We want to learn from each other and contribute together to build a stronger community in terms in every way, but especially today as we address inadequate internet access. I would like for all of us to be able to share our solutions. You are a valuable member of this community, and it is essential for us to bring our solutions to one another. Now, when you came in today, you received an agenda, and I just want to run down that agenda. First, on our outline for your agenda is you'll see that we have a special guest speaker, and his name is Mr. Van Smith. So he will be first on our agenda today. The reason we put him first is because he can build a foundation, build the groundwork for the questions and the conversations that will come later. Mr. Van Smith has a history of serving his community, and he's also had a great amount of input into bringing broadband internet to rural Alabama. We are going to, after hearing from our guest speaker, we're going to present 5 questions to our panels. We're going to present those one at a time, and each panel member will have 2 minutes to respond. We should end around 3:15, and after 3:15, we'll have an opportunity for you all to personally meet with our guest speaker and our panel members, with me, to just ask questions, to share your ideas. And this is a great time too for you to interact with your neighbors and learn from them as well. We have some refreshments available for you, so just enjoy yourself after our meeting concludes. So the next thing I would like to do is to introduce our panel members. Our first panel member I want to introduce is our superintendent, Mr. Jason Griffin. He's the superintendent of Chilton County Schools, and he really strives to make our students' educational experience rigorous and strong and really good for our students. He also hears from parents, administrators, teachers. He hears from everyone about the challenges of internet access. Our second panelist is Mr. DJ Nix. He is the principal of Jemison Intermediate School, and he also gets a lot of feedback from parents and teachers, and he daily deals with searching out solutions to challenges. Our third panelist is our very own mayor of Jemison, Mr. Eddie Reed. Now, Mr. Eddie Reed, his perspective is broader than the educational platform. He is able to contribute to our conversation as he looks at the community of Jemison as a whole. He can contribute his experiences and ideas because he knows the areas that are most affected, and he knows challenges that occur that's beyond our educational arena. Our next panelist is Mr. Adolfo Gazar. Mr. Gazar is a parent of a middle schooler here in Jemison, and he is daily faced with internet access challenges and looking for solutions. He's actually living in an area where there is no internet access, and so he will really represent the families in our community really well as we are in these discussions. And also our guest speaker, Mr. Van Smith, I've asked him to serve as a panelist as well, just because he brings a lot of expertise and experience to the conversation. So thank you all panelists for being here. I really appreciate your input. Thank you for being an advocate for our community and for improving our community. Okay, so now I would like to introduce you to our special guest speaker. I met our special guest speaker for the first time at the Empower Energy Conference. His name is Mr. Van Smith, and there are two things that I walked away with as I got to know Mr. Smith. The first thing is he is passionate about education. He actually initiated the Empower Energy Conference for teachers so that teachers would have more tools to teach our students about energy. And well, why is that important? Well, there are many career fields, there are many careers in energy that can really help our children as we inspire them to help them grow up and choose energy fields of work and bring a lot of success and progression for them. A little background information. One more thing I learned about Mr. Van Smith is that he is actually vice chairman of the Central Alabama Electric Co-op. And he was significant in initiating bringing broadband to rural Alabama. It was his idea to expand that into rural Alabama. So he really does have a lot to contribute here. Mr. Smith is also currently the Alabama State House of Representative for District 42. His background in education is pretty extensive. He spent 13 years as an agri-science teacher, 15 years as a principal at Billingsley School. He's also been the Autauga County Cattlemen's Association a board member for them. He's also been a board member for the Alabama Farmers Federation. He served as county commissioner, and he has a long, extensive resume of community service. and improving rural Alabama. And a more personal touch from Mr. Smith, he's been a visitor here at Jemison Intermediate School, and he's also been a contributor to help bring about our outdoor classroom. Now, the concerns, I would like to run over the concerns before we get into the questions. The concerns concerning internet access is of course, we know that the pandemic has made internet access much more necessary. And while we are a one-to-one device ratio for students in Jemison, and we also have bus Wi-Fi for students, we are still have a broad struggle with internet access. Now, American society has evolved in such a way that internet access is no longer a privilege, it's actually a necessity. So just in our teaching in the classroom and the curriculum that we use, we have a broad use of adaptive learning programs. Well, the problem is we have these adaptive learning programs, but they're useless if you don't have internet access, because you must access the internet to make use of those programs. This gap creates the purpose of this town hall meeting. We need this public forum to help bring about some solutions. The reason is that our school system, our Chilton County School District, cannot solve these single-handedly. They can't solve the problem single-handedly. It really does take a whole community to work through these solutions. And some of those solutions will begin things we can start today, but some of those solutions is something that we have to strive for in a long-term plan. Now, we know that internet access affects all of us, but when that's when it's insufficient. But when we have internet access, it benefits all of us. So how are we benefited? Well, students have access to educational curriculum. They're able to explore diverse subjects, and they have the ability to access online learning when in-person learning is not possible. Administrators and teachers benefit because we have the tools to stay connected to our students. We're able to deliver rigorous instruction, and we're able to assess learning. The community at large is benefited because as we teach children through these technology platforms, we have an opportunity to have a positive impact on the community as students grow up to be educated members of the community. They are able to build and support businesses. They're able to take on civic responsibilities. They're able to be community contributors, community leaders. It really does have a broad impact on our future when our children are able to have all the tools needed to learn. So now I would like to go over the questions that for our panelists, and I have the questions here, so let me start with those. Number 1, what are some challenges you and others you know have encountered concerning internet access, and what are some ways you have managed these challenges? Number 2, the Alabama Broadband Connectivity Program is a voucher program that provides broadband for students. Some parents have communicated that when attempting to use the vouchers, they were told that it did not extend into their area and they would be required to pay a fee to access service. What are some solutions available to work through this problem? Third question. Some parents communicate that they are in locations where internet access is not available. What are some solutions available to overcome this obstacle? Question number 4. We currently have school buses equipped with Wi-Fi where students access it within range of the school bus. What are some options or ideas to introduce better and more convenient access points until internet access becomes available? What is the timeline for the expansion of broadband into areas with no internet access? What are the ways that we as a community can expedite this process? For example, are there people we can contact? Are there any ways that we as citizens can contribute to this process? I just want to thank you all for coming and being a part of our town hall meeting. Please stay afterwards for questions, interact with neighbors, and please enjoy your refreshments. Thank you so much for coming.